Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman have accounted for all 5 Super Bowl titles in Cowboys history. Tonight at 10 on CBS 11, Babe Loffenberg talks to the 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks about their favorite Super Bowl memories and the pressures of playing quarterback for America's team.
I really like the pressure on me, and I like sometimes when we get in the 2-minute period, because Coach Landry wasn't calling the plays and I could kind of do my thing. And
for me, I found out real early that, you know, I was not going to be a guy who threw the ball a lot, that my legacy, and rightfully so, as it should be for really all quarterbacks, was going to be based on, you know, winning and losing.
Back with Marcus Spears here live at Boomerjacks at Arlington Highlands in South Arlington. I just love talking to Troy and Roger. When you hear those guys, as a player who is aspiring to get to the level where they are,
absolutely,
what does that do for you guys?
I think both of those guys, man, they exemplify what the Dallas Cowboys are. And when you hear those names, when you hear the Emmitt Smiths, Troy Aikmans, the Roger Staubachs, great guys, great names like that, you want to be a part of what the star represents, and I think they represent it better than anybody.
Well, we know this team is trying hard. Jerry Jones promised change at Valley Ranch, and that change came. And quite frankly, a lot of us were surprised by the firing of defensive coordinator Rob Ryan. It happened live on the air here on The Fan. How did you find out? Were you a little bit surprised as well?
Well, I saw it on Twitter, and
that's the world now.
That's the world, and I was a bit surprised. You know, I didn't think that Rob would be terminated. I didn't think that would happen. I just didn't have a clue that would happen. I thought he did a great job. I thought guys responded to him well. But, you know, at the end of the day, whatever happens in those front offices and those coaches' meetings, I know for sure that Jerry and Jason are making decisions based on what they think is best for the Dallas Cowboys. So at the end of the day, you can question it, but they got the final say.
They certainly do have the final say, and their say is Monty Kiffin, 72-year-old Monty Kiffin, who will be 73 just next month. There's no doubt in my mind he has the energy to be the defensive coordinator for this team. If you've seen any interviews with him, I mean, he is a man who I've joked, I have 5 cups of coffee, he doesn't need any, because he's right there at a high level each and every day. But he's instituting the Tampa 2-4-3 defense. Yeah. And granted, you guys played 4-3 a number of times the past couple of years. But why is this team and this personnel suited for that style of play?
Well, I think you have a bunch of athletic guys, and anytime you have guys that can play any type of defense like that, and then having long-rangey guys that can play linebacker or defensive end, and when you got guys that's big and stout like I am, you can go in and play a one technique and do the grunt work and dirty work. So I think it's a lot of guys that can switch over, and being what you said earlier, we did all of that this year. Actually, we played 4-3 fronts, 3-4 fronts. We had all type of fronts this year, so I don't think it'll be any change.
And could that have been, and not to knock anyone, but could a simpler scheme perhaps be a little bit better? Because the one thing we did hear about Rob Ryan's defense was that it was quite intricate, it was complex, and that you guys did a lot out there. Could simplifying things be an asset at this point?
I think when you simplify things, you put guys in a position where they know and it's not any thinking. And I think that's the best way to play football, because now it's more reacting. And, you know, and not to knock Rob's defense. Rob's defense has been very successful in this league. The 3-4 is still a successful defense. But I think with Monty coming in and implementing the 4-3, it gives the guys a chance to just go and not think about a lot of things, especially on the defensive front, because we one-gapping and we hitting the guy in front of us. And as a defensive player, you love to have that advantage.
Now, Marcus, you know this better than anybody. You've only played for one owner, that is Jerry Jones. You played for a few coaches, played for a few defensive coordinators, but there seems to be a misconception, in my opinion, about Jerry Jones. In a recent poll, this is how crazy a world we live in now, researchers at the Public Policy Polling Company found that only 13% of Texans have a positive opinion about Jerry Jones.
Wow.
Now, there seems to be the perceived notion that he's in the meeting rooms with you guys, that he is on the phone with Jason Garrett 24/7, roaming the hallways of Valley Ranch. Tell us what is, in fact, true.
It's a misconception.
It is, isn't it?
You know, Jerry is more involved than probably any other owner, and we all know that. But the guy knows football. Jerry played football in college, was an All-American in college, so he understands the game. And obviously, this is something that he loves doing. So yeah, he's around a bunch. But I think the misconception that people has is that he's so much more involved in personnel and the way defenses are run and offenses are run. He really leaves that up to the coaches. Now, I'm sure he has his say, because the success of the franchise is based off winning. So, you know, at the end of the day, he has his 2 cents that he puts in, but I think he trusts the guys that he hires to be head coaches and coaches in this organization. And I think people just have a big misconception of what his role is and how involved he is on a day-to-day basis.
At the end of the day, what is it like playing for a guy who's on the field during a game and who knows your name? Because I know a lot of owners don't know their players' names. I know this for a fact. I've seen it firsthand. He knows your wife's name. He knows your kid's name. What's it like playing for a man like that?
Well, I think this is family for him. Jared, this means so much to him. If I could count the number of times I've seen him well up and tear up when he's talking about this organization and having interaction with players and trying to get us to get over the hump to be a better football team and make it to where we're trying to go, you know that the passion that he has for this organization and winning in general is going to propel you to the next level. And I think, you know, as long as he continues to have that investment and make that investment into the organization, we'll be fine.
Okay, we'll see if those numbers ever change. Something tells me they aren't going to change, though. That public opinion of him is going to stay that way for quite some time. Okay, Super Bowl is in one of my favorite cities in the country, in New Orleans. Coming up next, we're talking about something that both Marcus and I think, are experts in, the field of restaurants.
Absolutely.
I want some of your favorite Louisiana and New Orleans hot spots. We're sharing our favorites, so that means we're not going to be able to get in, right?
No change.
You won't be able to get a reservation when you go down there this weekend. Anyway, we're spilling the beans when we come back on the Fan Sports Show, live from Boomerjacks in Arlington.